This movie's a goddamn bunch of fucking bullshit. Sure, that's not exactly an interesting critique, but fuck if it isn't true. This movie's a paragon of ineptitude in practically every facet. If I was doing a straight-up review, it'd be one of the easiest ones I'd ever have to write. But in the interest of justifying my delusions of extreme intelligence, I want to talk about something a little bit more with this film. But before we get into that part of it, here are my quick thoughts on The Bye-Bye Man as a whole.
Just say it, don't think it.
The Bye-Bye Man. More like, this movie isn't very good, man. Oh, I'm sorry, did you think I was gonna go for obvious wordplay? Oh, no, my sweet child, you need to earn that. This movie isn't worth the crappy puns. Crappy puns take effort, more than the filmmakers put into this film. Everything about it is terrible. I feel like all of the production notes were just this. No one really seemed to care, and it shows in the final product. The characters aren't even good enough to be one note. I'm not even sure I could tell you their names, so as far as I'm concerned, their names are College Kid 1, 2, and Girl. The basic plot is that College Kid 1, 2, and, of course, Girl, rent a house near their college campus. 1 and Girl are dating, and 2 is the perpetual third wheel. They find a nightstand with some weird scribbling in it that says, "Don't think it, don't say it," and peeling off this wallpaper that the nightstand has, it reveals scratching in the wood that says "The Bye-Bye Man," and thus the titular Toodaloo dude starts to mercilessly fuck with them by making 1 and 2 see things that aren't really there. He also makes Girl run a high fever and forget how to act. The acting in this movie is something else. Everyone in this film obviously was paid in Starbucks gift cards because no one seems to care. Carrie Ann Moss completely phoned in a performance, and it was on the level of Laurence Olivier compared to everyone else. Girl, by the way, she's the worst actress I've ever seen in my fucking life. To call her dull, dead-eyed, droning acting is akin to calling me a decathlete. This movie's biggest crime, however, is with its titular character. The Bye-Bye Man isn't scary at all. That probably comes as no surprise to anyone with a functioning occipital lobe, though. Everyone who saw the trailer knew that the Bye-Bye Man wasn't scary. That's going to be my main focus today. Why exactly did the Bye-Bye Man fail as a scary character? Well, as a connoisseur of horror films, I'm going to explain exactly why. As such, I've grabbed 3 checkboxes or categories that a horror antagonist can check off in order to be considered scary. These 3 things are a scary name, scary actions or behavior, or a scary look. So let's start by failing the Bye-Bye Man immediately for its name. The Bye-Bye Man is something that a 4-year-old would call a relative that they don't really know that well yet. One easy way to make your antagonist threatening is to give them a name with a little bit of oomph to it. Names like Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger. Now, of course, this is the easiest checkbox that you can leave unchecked and still have a threatening antagonist. For example, in The Exorcist, the demon's name is Pazuzu. Other examples include the Babadook or Bagul. All silly sounding, but those guys are a lot scarier because they've checked off one of the other boxes. How about a scary look? With this category, you can be as scary as your imagination will allow, and usually in this category, movies will make their monsters look alien to us, whether that be with an actual alien or by having a character that is immense in stature, or maybe deformities, those help. There's a way around this, of course, if you don't have a good enough imagination. Don't fucking show your antagonist. Casper the Annoying Ghost in the Paranormal Activity films is significantly scarier because you don't see a floating bedsheet with 2 holes for eyes hanging out in the bedroom complimenting Mika and Katie on their new bedspreads. And I mention this because the Bye-Bye Man would have been a lot scarier if he had not been shown at all. He would have been more threatening, especially since they really played up the paranoia angle in this film. But instead we get this guy? I mean, he's a pasty-faced dude in a trench coat. It's not scary. I went to high school with people that looked like this guy, and they weren't psychotic murderers either. They just sold weed. I'm not scared of this fucking guy. No, but what about his creepy long bony fingers? Yeah, my grandma had those too, and she was just a sweet old lady that gave me cookies. So that just leaves a scary behavior or actions. Sometimes monsters in other movies don't have to have a scary nomenclature or look threatening at all, but it's what they do that is intended to terrify. A good example of this is Norman Bates. He's just your average-looking fella. Not scary at all. And his name is Norman Bates. Norman's a nerd name. Who's scared of some rando motel manager named Norman? Yet he ends up being a creepy Oedipuscian pervert that keeps his mother's corpse in his house while killing people in the shower. And what does the Bye-Bye Man do? He makes Girl think that 1 is actually 2, and he makes 2 not able to reach climax. Oh no, douche bro McCollege kid didn't get his rocks off one time. Early onset ED is punishment enough for being unlikable. He also drives a train slower than fucking Thomas the Tank Engine while having a pet liquor from Resident Evil. And that may sound scary, but then you realize that it's a Resident Evil 1 liquor from the PS1 era. Seriously, this hellhound had more angles than a goddamn dodecahedron. So when you look at it, the Bye-Bye Man can't check off a single box. He doesn't sound threatening, he doesn't look threatening, and he sure as hell doesn't act threatening. So if you ever wanted a case study on why the Bye-Bye Man is pure shit, here you go. I've given it to you. And with that, I've officially put more thought into the Bye-Bye Man than the filmmakers did.